Welcome back to WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. I've got my friend John Fullerton here with me. We've got something very special for you right here at the top of the show, and that is how to differentiate your company. It's an extremely important thing. The lady that developed the Body Shop, very brilliant woman and extremely successful. This is going back now 10 or 15 years. Anita Roddick, I believe her name is, and she said the single most important thing in business is to be special, to differentiate yourself, to stand out. Right here with WowBiz Nebraska, we talk about it. We say deliver the wow. We talk about the wow factor, and we deliver the wow every single day. This is what we're going to try to help you with right now with John Fullerton. John, tell us a little bit about maybe one or two ways to get your organization looking different, sounding different. For instance, just your self-image right off the bat, kind of how you come across. I'm sure people would say, oh, everybody knows that, but I think it's extremely important, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, how you currently see yourself and your company, it's very important, and it affects your mission statement and your elevator speech and the other things that are very important. You have to be very clear about how you deliver value and how that's different from the other competitors out there and the other people in the market, and providing something that's unique, a good niche that really fits the customer's needs the best. Because, if you keep just seeing yourself as just okay, don't be surprised when the world agrees.
Yeah, exactly right. No, you don't want to be a commodity, see? And this is something that we see all the time. I don't want to go down this hall too fast or too much, but people say, well, they're succeeding over there, they're in our industry, let's do something similar as well, and just kind of knock them off, maybe try to get a little bit cheaper, and then, we'll get our share of the business. Absolutely not true at all. So you've got to figure out what your wow factor really is, and then build your entire product delivery system around that key perception. I'm going to go on one more time here. You mentioned the elevator speech. Do you think most people have an elevator speech, and does it make sense? Do people resonate with it? What do you think?
A lot of people don't, and they should.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of networking, and it's very important. And I think by getting involved in networking in the community, we've got a lot of great networking groups for business people all around the metro area.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of groups you can go to, and you should, that's something you'll be expected to deliver, is a 30-second to 1 minute type of elevator speech.
Yeah.
And so it is very important to be able to rehearse that and keep it concise and something that is going to be very clear and memorable, and it may be based on your mission statement. That could be a concise type of thing, but then, it's your mission statement may be very brief, but then your elevator speech is going to be about 30 to 60 seconds. Do you have like an elevator speech?
Well, I do now, yeah. The company that I'm associated with is Nebraska, as you well know. The first syllable new. See, the first syllable new is the key kickoff or leverage point. And when I say that, Nebraska in general needs some new strategies, some new programs, some new talent, some new objectives, some new goals to accomplish. And if after I say that 3 or 4 or 5 times, just like you are right now, if people are nodding, they're in agreement that the state itself sometimes gets a little behind the curve, a little conservative, a little bit staid, and so they really kind of buy into the notion that I want to associate myself with something and somebody that is new. Tell me more the next time we talk. That's kind of where I'm going. And
exactly.
It usually works okay.
For our elevator speech, it's just real quick. I mean, I help you sell your building or your business. I help you sell your business, and but I kind of call myself unofficially a maker of millionaires.
Yeah.
I love it when I sell a business for more than $1 million, turn somebody into a millionaire. But also, our parent company is United Franchise Group, which specializes in turning businesses into franchises. And so their mission is really good. They say, we have one customer, our franchisee. When they are successful, we are successful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it really can be powerful. You want to focus on the needs of your client.
Sure.
And how you're going to really help their dreams come true.
Yeah. Let's go on here, because there are a lot of other ways to stand out and succeed, especially in this kind of unusual, tentative period in our economy. A lot of people are not quite clear where they stand. In fact, I'll tell you real quickly, you've probably heard this statistic before. Only 10% of all business owners right now think that they can grow their company. Only a little over 10% 98%. However, when you talk to them, here's an additional statistic, 68% of them will tell you that they wouldn't mind having a little advice from a peer. This is what they're looking for. So, I mean, those two statistics right there tell you almost everything. They're dragging behind, they're not getting anywhere in particular, and they need somebody to tell them what to do.
Yeah, so it's good to have a consultant, somebody, like yourself or another business consultant or advisor to be able to bounce ideas off of and to discuss. And then really, you want to have a strategic plan. So, and it could be an in-depth process where you're looking at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats with your key team members.
Right.
So that you can get input all the way down to the people on the floor, from the senior management and the ownership. So that there's buy-in and the people actually are on board with the whole, because they've helped to shape that mission.
Absolutely.
And how you're going to achieve that through a strategic business plan.
Another way to kind of go forward in your organization is to find an ecosystem that you're comfortable in. Now, this is an interesting word. It's becoming increasingly popular. It used to say, oh, there's a network or some cooperative group that you can join if you want to. The ecosystem word is so interesting because it kind of speaks up to a garden, almost as if you're, kind of growing all together and you're overlapping and you share information with each other, that kind of thing. I think that's pretty cool. Now, there's another idea that seems a little bit similar but different, which is coalition. Have you heard this word being used frequently? Coalition?
Yeah, well, of course, and it's important to build your network and to be in the right kind of environment or ecosystem, as you mentioned, because sometimes growth doesn't go up because the network is down.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And, or, it's sometimes the growth isn't really a strategy problem. It's more of, it could be a zip code problem, or it could be other types of environments. It might be location problem. Or other, or within the industry itself. Yeah. What's your location, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the one that comes up all the time. It's probably the first one that comes up even before the self-image thing, which we've discussed, is new products, new product innovation. That's the one thing that business owners will say, I don't really know what to do, but I've been thinking about this product now for a couple, 2-3 years. Let's go ahead and get a new product out there and see if we can't get people excited about our brand that way. And do you see that kind of activity going on?
Well, yeah, in terms of, product differentiation and product development are always huge. You've got to be on the leading edge, right? Just mediocre is not good enough.
Yeah.
Just good enough.
That's the wow piece right there.
You got to have the wow factor, right?
That's right.
That's why we're on WowBiz, right?
Now, going forward, by the way, if somebody says, well, I just don't know about that, it doesn't seem like it's that smart and it takes a lot of effort. And this blows my mind because I've done this now for many years, and that is literally go out or find somebody who can go out and talk to your customer, your previous customers, privately and openly. And sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, they kind of tap dance around a little bit, but they're paid. They get paid some money to sit down, close the door, and visit with you privately. And in many cases, they will say, look, here's the real deal. And then when they lean forward and you lean forward and you go ahead, I want to hear the real deal. And in almost every case, I've done this many, many times, I walk away with a gem. It's like a piece of jewelry that I have. And I bring this back to the client, packaged up and with other kinds of information. But they go, okay, never thought about it that way.
Well, yeah. Of course, the loud customers are the most annoying, aren't they? Because they're usually right.
Yeah. No, they have a lot to say in most cases, but they don't really believe that you want to know the truth. That's the thing.
They want to be polite.
Yeah, exactly right.
We have a tendency to that. But yeah, so it is good to have somebody, a survey, other types of outreach to be able to really gauge the reactions.
Usually I go with qualitative instead of the quantitative because that's too expensive, quantitative. Here's another one, keeping going here as we get through our first section of our show here, is to leverage trends, to identify trends, how the world is changing, how the customer himself or herself is changing, and then how our product kind of fits into their lifestyle or their mindset. So that's kind of a really big deal.
Yeah, trends are the doors that only stay open for those who are paying attention.
Yes, absolutely so. Here's another idea, a signature approach or philosophy. Now this comes back to your elevator speech and your personal self-image. I've noticed so much as I go to, recently I've been visiting with car dealers. and both used and new. And it's so interesting to see how these people think of themselves and present themselves, you know. And they don't seem to really understand that. They think people are just there, give me a cheap price and I'll walk off the lot. And what people really want, I believe, is they want something that makes them look like they're on the go, they're doing well, they're feeling good. This is the kind of person I am, I'm not that kind of person, etc. There are Cadillac people that, you know, will swear by that brand, etc., etc. And they really do feel strongly about it kind of adding to their psychology and self-image. Don't you agree about that?
Yeah, of course, you know, people buy from others who they like and they trust.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, but nothing builds credibility faster than someone else holding the microphone and speaking for you, right?
Yeah.
And you're excellent at doing that.
Yeah. I'm just going to move on real quickly here because we have a promotional segment coming up of our show. Host events and networks, kind of organize your own event. It could be a Zoom thing or it could be a live thing. To master storytelling. Now, this is the piece, I tell you what, we don't have time for this, but you know, the brand is supposed to be emotional and pure, not, you know, we're 11% below our nearest customer. It's not that. It's how do we change the world together? This is what it's all about right there, and it's not easy to talk about it or think about it, but if they have a story to share, boy, I tell you what, that goes a long, that's what they'll remember when they leave the office or whatever.
Yeah, because, you know, facts tells, stories sell.
Yeah.
And excuses just explain why you're still stuck.
Yeah. And the story can jog you out of it if it's a big enough story, not some piddly little story. Absolutely. Well, John, out of all the things that we've just mentioned, very briefly, we haven't done much, we haven't gone in depth here, but which one of those strikes you as being, you know, most important, the single thing that you would share with your best friend or somebody or whatever that said, I'm not doing well with my company? What would you share with them?
Yeah, I think I would go to the very first thing, you know, your mission statement, your strategic plan, having a coalescing idea around where you're going to be building. Everyone has the goal in mind.
Yeah.
You know what it is. People are able to recite the mission. A lot of times the mission statements, people, oh, they're long and convoluted. They don't remember them, you know, blah, 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 we do blah, blah, blah. You know, no, it's like, it's got to be really brief and direct.
Tight.
Relates to people and they can easily understand it.
Absolutely.
And, but then also maybe in your elevator speech, then you're going to expand upon that in order to really provide the differentiation and the value.
Great. All right. Well, John Fullerton, thank you so much for helping us out here and helping us get through this incredible list. I'm sure everybody's taking notes. We will see you again, sir. Thanks so much. We appreciate you being with us here on WowBiz Nebraska, and we will see you very soon, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. We're back here at WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderaker, and we are all set for the promotional segment here of our entire show. I just want you to know what we have going on and what opportunity you have. This has been brought to you by a company called VMail. VMail obviously is video, and the full name is VMail Voltage. All right, so think about that. So what's the big deal? We all know about emails every day. We get 50, maybe 100 of them. We probably block out 70, 80, 90% of the emails we respond to or learn about and so on. But I want to tell you that right now, and I'm saying this very seriously, you've never heard what I'm going to share with you right now about VMail. Now here's the concept. We all know that video is powerful. It's about 70% stronger, more impactful and so on than just regular dry text or even a stayed image and so on. So video is extremely important, becoming more important every day. That's why you're watching this show. But here's the deal. When you send an email to somebody with a video in the email, we all know that you have to have a link, right? And so you look for the link, it shows up, and maybe there's something in the introductory note or whatever, letting you kind of know what's happening and so on. But here's the problem. You don't know for sure, especially if it's a cold email from somebody you don't really know. And so you're wondering, do I really want to mess around with this and click on this link? I don't know what's going to really happen, right? Should I really click on it? I don't know. Maybe I'll get back to this a little bit later on and I'll feel more comfortable with it. But if instead you receive an email where the image, an image, let's say it's an image of a TV talk show host. Let's just say, okay, and it comes up on their screen as soon as they open up their email system and click on that particular email, boom, right? It's there. Now we're talking about somebody who is known and understands what TV and the communications are all about. And that person, by the way, that would be me, by the way, in this particular case, but that person is introducing a company, some other company, some company you don't do business with. And I'm going to let you know very clearly, I'm going to be the guy, and I'm going to be chatting with you very, very briefly, but it's not interactive, it's one way. So hi, I'm Lynn Hinderaker with blah, blah, blah company, and I just want to let you know that this guy over here has been telling me all about the problems that you have, specifically you. Now, what did I just do, right? That's a major customization when I say that. I begin talking about the recipient's problems in that industry, of course. And I said, he knows all about the problems that you're struggling with. He knows you have a vendor already, and he's got a solution. I just want to let you know, because I saw that, I learned about that, and you really should give him a shot. He has something really special to share with you, and I even heard it, but I'm not going to go into it at all. I just want you to know that you're going to hear from John over at ABC Company real soon, and you're not going to regret chatting with him. Thanks so much for listening, all right? Boom. And I'm out. And people go, who is that guy? I didn't click on anything in this video, and he seems to be talking about something that we do, and he actually seems to know what our problems are here, and I can't believe who is this guy? All right, we open him up, there it is, boom. Can't believe it. All right, let's listen to it a second time. Well, anyway, so shortly thereafter, I call up the client in this particular case. He'd be the sales manager typically. Say, they're ready. They're ready to hear your pitch. They're here and ready to hear the benefits associated with the product we've all discussed. Because I've gone through a little bit of faith, a little bit of research and so on. So that's how Vmail works. It enhances and accelerates email marketing and email prospecting, and essentially warming them up, getting them ready to talk about whatever product. But what's beautiful about it is it's a third-party endorsement, right? And I speak passionately, enthusiastically, and so on, articulately, and say, this is a company you got to talk about. I know what you're dealing with. They know how to handle it. Give them a shot. They're going to be calling you in just a minute. Thanks. Bye-bye. That's how it goes down. So Vmail Voltage is an exciting, it opens doors, right? And puts the third party, they don't have to say, hey, we're really great, cold call, you love us. Nuh-uh. Now you have a guy who happens to be a TV talk show host endorsing somebody else. It's an incredible system, and you may want to get a hold of the Vmail people. And of course, I'm involved in all that. And just talk about extending, deepening, and accelerating everything in the email system, building new relationships, doing it all quickly, clean, high-end. It's a great opportunity for you to intensify your email prospecting system. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Thank you so much for listening. I know it's a long story, but Vmails are incredible, and you need to line up and get somebody like me helping you accelerate the sales process. All right, thank you so much. Beautiful, wow. Okay, here we are back here at WowBiz, Nebraska, and I want to talk to you very briefly here about the future of work. You know, ever since the pandemic, everybody's been up in the air. They don't know what we're doing exactly. Are we staying home? Are we remote? I love working at home. I can take care of my dog. Meanwhile, the boss is going, are these people being productive in their house and taking the kids to school? I mean, I get all that, but still, really, how do I know for sure that they're being productive and getting stuff done? Not to mention the fact that we really can't innovate. We got to come up with new ideas all the time. You know, this is a very competitive industry we're in. This is them thinking. This is the bosses thinking. This is all the owners of businesses around. And by the way, the offices themselves are sitting there empty, aren't they? Now, there are some things that are going on that are trying to offset that. And really, the office now becomes kind of a social place where people talk and it's kind of a loose, relaxed environment. They chat about the work and their house and their life and their business and whatever they're doing. But the real work is actually taking place at home. So now this creates a real problem for tenants, for landlords, for commercial real estate people who are trying to sell clients into these spaces. You need interior designers to get in there and redesign the whole area so that it has kind of an upbeat, empowering influence to the people that are now kind of dribbling back into the office. They may or may not actually be attacking the work. They're just kind of surrounding the work, if you know what I'm saying. And that may or may not be the best way to go. Actually, I got to tell you something. This will surprise you. 36% of remote workers, only 36% of the workers working from home are fully engaged. Oh, what about all the people the owners that are going, I can't have that. I want full engagement. That's what we pay them for, is to dive into the work and get it done and so on. To know that many, if not most of the people that are employees are, they're just not really into it that much. Oh, no. So it's a very interesting thing. And plus, there is a problem there between remote workers who feel like they're not getting the full attention of the boss. They're not really clued in. Then they have this other group of people that are at the office almost every day, and they seem to be getting the key projects, and they high-five the boss in the hall and all that kind of stuff. And there's this uneasiness about this relationship. In fact, the bottom line is it hurts culture. It's very difficult to keep a culture growing and kind of energized and vibrating, and people love being there, and they know each other, and they like to support each other and all that. You know what culture is. And it's really difficult to make it happen when some people are home. Well, I'm going to be in Monday and Friday. I'm a hybrid worker, so I'm going to come in there Monday and Friday. Well, all the action and the meetings are taking place on Wednesday, So we have this kind of an issue as well. So I just want to mention this to you. This is a little bit of a crisis. Many companies are saying, now's our opportunity. Our competitors are just kind of twiddling their thumbs. They're not quite sure what to do with the economy and the consumers kind of pressuring our prices. So we're going to go. This is good, but I can't go, right? I can't go. I can't get anybody to hustle. There isn't this ground level hustle. Now, if I'm a 25-year-old worker and I'm in this, kind of a large company and so on, I'm thinking to myself, I've heard this and I'm going, well, maybe if they paid me more money, I'd hustle a little more, Or maybe, I've got enough money, I got the insurance, I guess, it's okay, that's all fine, and so on. I got these baby boomers over here, they don't seem to like me very much, so, I'm not, got to stay away from them a little bit, but really the thing is that I'm looking for is meaning. This is when it gets right down to it. Here we are at the end of our show in Nebraska, and we're all of a sudden in WowBiz, Nebraska, we're all of a sudden getting down to the bottom line right now. Because a lot of these young people, the people that are going to be kind of taking over our companies, Gen Y and Gen Z, are looking for something more than some demographic shifts and maybe a little extra cash for the weekend or some kind of insurance bonus or whatever it is. They're looking for meaning. They're looking to try to understand what life is all about and how does this work and this career fit into things. And many of them are working for about $15 an hour. They don't know for sure whether is that really good? They're just barely hanging on. I can barely get by on this money. Seems like other people are doing the same thing. What's the next step? So this is what it's all about. I'm going to share one quick principle before we wrap up our show here on WowBiz Nebraska, and that is this. Most people, particularly these younger people, think that the world and life is all about what's going on out here, right? And then it comes and it hits us. It's bad, not enough money, here's something that's good, whatever. And it's all out here and it's kind of hitting me, whichever. My car doesn't work, boom, there's a setback over here. She called me and said hi, that's a good thing. So they're gauging the quality of their life by all these external circumstances, right? And they wake up every single day thinking about the same things. I don't have enough money in the bank. I'm not going to go anywhere. Nobody seems to want to give me a break. Every single thing, all the things I was thinking about yesterday and the day before and the day before, right? And so I'm kind of just like, blah about the job, about the career, and so on and so forth. What they don't know, see, here's what they don't know as we wrap up this particular program is that it all starts inside. This is where the meaning begins. It's consciousness. It's a very long word. A lot of people don't know what it really means, but it really means is that you're basically looking in the mirror. Just think about that for just a moment. When you see things happening around you, it's really you looking back at you, right? If you change your attitude, your philosophy, your idea, who you think of yourself, what you're becoming, and so on, then you'd see different images and circumstances looking back at you as well. But most of us have it turned around. We drudge through every day reacting to all these activities that are going on around us or not going on around us, whatever they are. But nevertheless, there's a fundamental paradigm that needs to be addressed. So when somebody comes into the flock, so to speak, and says, I'm here with a company called Future Force, maybe, or some idea, somebody that has the big picture and can build situations where people go, I get it now. I get now why I'm here. I put myself here because of this and this. I see it coming at me. Absolutely. This is the beginning, not the end. Not the end. Well, anyway, thank you so much. I kind of went off the deep end a little bit on this, but this is the key. And part of the problem we have here in the state of Nebraska is we don't understand this key point. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. I'm with you right here on WowBiz Nebraska. I'm going to hold up this picture right here, the future of work. That's what we're talking about right here. And we're talking about the solo worker who's sitting at home wondering, am I doing something really cool, really nice, or do I not fit in to the culture in my company? I don't really know, and I'm kind of down about it. That's it. All right, thank you so much for watching here on WowBiz Nebraska. We'll talk again about this key point. Bye-bye.